Hey guys, DJ Phil here with GotToTech.com. I'm going to be telling you the 12 things you didn't know about the iPhone 5 and iOS 6, so don't go anywhere and we'll get to it right after this. Okay guys, so over the last few days I've been hunting through iOS 6 and the iPhone 5 just for some cool little features that you don't know about, and I've sort of compiled my top 12 that, like I say, I think are pretty good, and I hope you guys enjoy. So you might notice, if I just bring my phone up here, you might notice this little kind of button I've got going on here, and I'm sure a lot of people probably know what this is already, but this is actually assistive touch, and it's part of the iPhone, or part of iOS 6 I should say. And what I try to do is, because I use a lot of jailbreaking tweaks that save you sort of using your buttons like Zephyr and things like that, you can just go ahead and like lock your device from here, and it just saves you from pressing the button, especially the home button. My iPhone 4 home button seems to be pretty worn out, so you know, say you're just in a weather app for example, and then you can go ahead and just go from home, and you know, you don't have to keep pressing the button. And the way you do this is you just go into settings, go into general, then go into accessibility, and then you can see assistive touch is turned on here. So that's how you go ahead and set it up, and I really recommend it. I know some guys might think that's kind of annoying having that there, but like you saw, you can move it around, have it wherever you want. I have mine about here because I just find that that's sort of the least intrusive out of anything. So coming up next, we've got the ability to change the Siri voice. So you guys probably don't know this, but if we go ahead into Siri, and we'll put it on UK. So if I just do something here, what's the weather in New York? You'll hear that it's a guy's voice.
Here's the weather for New York City, New York, the United States through Saturday.
So you can see that's kind of like the regular guy that you get in the UK, and then obviously the US one. You can go ahead and just change this in the language within Siri, so you can do the same thing and sort of get the different voices. What's the weather in New York?
Here's the weather for New York City, New York, the United States through Saturday.
So you can see obviously that you've now changed it to the female voice. So you know, if you want to go ahead and change that, you can. I mean, you can go on to you know, Australia or other places that do English and sort of give yourself a cool little accent if that's what you kind of wanted to do. So right, next up, I'm gonna just go ahead and plug in some headphones into my device, because this I came across completely by accident and I just thought it was cool, so I wanted to show it with you guys. So we'll go ahead and start playing a song. Now this is sort of pretty cool. So you can see here we want to turn up the volume, and regularly, you see you've got the sort of the pop-up there that says headphones. Regularly you just have this and you turn it up on the iOS 6, and this is actually only on the iPhone 5 because I tested it on the iPhone 4 as well. You can go ahead and turn it up, and you can see they start going yellow as you turn it up, and you actually have to hit it twice to turn up each one. You can see it's going high volume, and it sort of goes red just to sort of warn you how high you're actually going with the volume. So I thought that's pretty good, you know, pretty useful, just to kind of you know, save your ears more than anything else. But like I say, that's I think that's an iPhone 5 thing, because it's not on the iPhone 4 that I tested with iOS 6. So coming up next, we've got the privacy settings. So there's actually been, you know, a call for an overhaul of this, because people were complaining that they didn't know, or like apps were using sort of their details without permission and things. So you've now got this revamped thing in the settings menu for the privacy, and you can go ahead in here and go on, say, contacts for example, and then it will list all the different applications that are actually, you know, using your contacts. So at the moment, obviously, I've only got Skype here, but if you had more apps using your contacts, they all appear here. So you can, and then you can see here, you can go ahead and turn that on and off. So maybe you kind of have an app that you didn't want the contacts to have access to, so you can go ahead and just turn it off straight from there. So that's pretty cool, and again, you know, useful to a lot of people, and it's good that Apple kind of include these kind of things. Now, the next one we're going to be looking at is the Do Not Disturb feature, but I know you guys obviously probably sort of know what the Do Not Disturb feature is, just to turn notifications on or off. If we go into notifications here, go into Do Not Disturb, this is kind of a lesser known sort of feature that you can go ahead and change the times that you want to have Do Not Disturb kind of enabled. So if we go ahead and turn on scheduled here, you can see it will only disable notifications during 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. Obviously you can go in and change this, but so it's pretty handy because obviously you can go ahead and just set that when you're going to bed and then not get woken up by notifications, and then, you know, say you wake up at 7, then from then on you'll start to get notifications. So if you ask me, that's kind of really handy, and just again something really good that's been included. And the other feature there is something we'll get to in a second. So coming up next, we're going to be looking at the YouTube app, or lack of YouTube app. So obviously you guys know that in iOS 6 the YouTube app has been taken away and you have to go ahead and download the new YouTube app. But if we just go into Photos here and just go into my photos, and we'll just go into a video here. So if you want to go ahead and upload a YouTube video, you can still do this. So if we go ahead and press, this is just a video, we'll press this little button here, and you can still, I don't know if you can quite see that, you can still see you've got the old YouTube app icon there, and you can still upload YouTube videos from your device itself, something you can't actually do in the new YouTube app, I would imagine, because you can still do it in iOS. And obviously you can go ahead and sign into your account and then upload your videos. So that's just something that I thought was pretty cool. Next up, this is actually a feature that I think was in iOS 5 as well as iOS 6, so it's nothing too new, but I wanted to go ahead and tell you because it's not too well known as far as I know. So you just basically have the ability to delete music from your device itself. So say you have a song that you don't particularly want, you can go ahead, just slide it, and oh actually sorry, you have to be in the main song list, I think. So just a random song, you can just slide it and you can see your delete button comes up there. You can also do that with albums, I believe. So if we go into albums, so you want to delete Skrillex, for example, you can see you can go ahead and just hit delete there, and that delete it straight off your device. That's something that's quite good given you've got like shared libraries and things like that. But I think that's a great feature and something that probably should have been included quite a long time ago, really. So next up, we've got the feature that to only receive messages from your contacts. So obviously, if you get a lot of spam messages, you can go ahead and enable this. So actually, I think we go into notifications, then we go into messages, and now if we scroll down, you can see here it should show iMessage alerts from everyone, but you can actually go ahead and change this to my contacts only. So if you get kind of a lot of messages from, you know, spam type things, you can go ahead and enable this, and then you won't actually get the messages from people who are not actually on your contact list. So again, that's a pretty good feature, but I'll just be leaving mine on everyone because I don't really suffer with that too much. So coming up next, we're looking at a feature which is actually apparently only on sort of newer devices. So it's an EQ feature. So if we go into the music app or the music settings, and we'll go on to EQ. This is actually one of the new EQs, and it's called late night. So you have the late night feature. Now what this does is it kind of changes the music slightly to be sort of reduce the bass and reduce sort of the sudden sort of noises within the music, just so if you're you know, listening to your iPod or your iPhone or whatever late at night trying to get to sleep, you can go ahead and put late night on, and you can sort of listen to this while going to sleep, and it won't wake you up with, you know, some sudden sort of sounds or some heavy bass or anything like that. So that's sort of a new feature, late night, and I thought that's quite good because that's pretty hidden as well, so not too many people will sort of know about that. Now, the next feature we're going to be looking at is I think a feature that people have been calling for a very